everybody, I'm going to do a quick portrait edit to show you exactly the process that I would use to clean this up and make it ready for sharing or for print. So this is a photo. Upon import, all I do upon import is add a little bit of contrast thanks to the tone curve. And one of the things that I noticed right away is that I need to fix the white balance. It's a little too cool, and I need to fix the exposure. It is just a little too dark. So I'd actually already fixed the white balance on a previous photo, so that's what I copied over here. And I boosted the exposure when I first went through these photos a little while ago. From here, I'm just going to edit the crop a little bit, make it a little bit more dynamic by getting a little closer and pulling her off to the side. From here, I actually think that this is ready to go for proofing. So if I needed to, print little 4x6s and send these off to meet with the client to proof, I think I could do that from here. If I want to do a little extra polish, say that they've decided to put this in their album or we're going to print it, I would do a handful of extra edits to polish this. So first thing I would do is I would take my healing brush and just start to clean up her skin a little bit more. You can tell her skin already looks great, but if I polish away, some minor blemishes, it'll make it that much better and cleaner. I don't like to edit so much that the person doesn't look like themselves anymore, but I want my edits to be kind of the best version of how we see ourselves. So I get rid of any tiny little imperfections. You can see that the healing tool allows me to sample from close by to clean things up with the texture and the color that's nearby. So that's what I'm doing every time with that little crosshair logo. You're also hearing my mouse click. Normally I would do this with a digital pen and tablet, but I only have 2 USB ports, and one is being used by my microphone and one is being used by the external hard drive that I run my business from. So no pen for me today. Take care of things here just a little bit more and we're almost done. You can see just tiny little blemishes, nothing crazy, but getting rid of these will just make the photo that much better. I could sit here forever and find all kinds of things if I really wanted to go crazy, but that's not really how I like to edit. And also, I think this photo looks pretty good as is. So I might do that for a couple more minutes, but mostly I'm just going to leave it at that. I take care of this one little flyaway here just because it doesn't quite flow with the shape of her hair. Her hair has great style as it is. I don't think I need to fix everything. It's kind of her look if we zoom out a little bit. All these nice curls. I would probably try and get rid of this curled hair right here, but I can see that it's crossing the jawline, so that would be a bit more effort that I'm just not going to do here because I'm trying to do this quick for you. I do see a little bit of skin there that was a different color, so I'll take care of that. And take care of the hair right here. Probably was caught under there somehow. All right, and I think that looks pretty good for blemish removal. The next thing I might do is do some dodging and burning, and I like to use the history tool. I actually learned this from a photographer down in Chillicothe. His name is Logan Deddy, and it was awesome. This is such a great tool. So I use this history brush, and there are 2 different layer modes that I use. The screen mode will just brighten things a little bit. So I'm just going to brighten up where I think, I could even out the brightness or darkness. And so I'm just painting on a tiny bit. But, I took this photo kind of with window light head on. So her face is pretty even as it is. I think it was really just this little part right over here that I wanted to catch and brighten up a little bit. But I like everything else. Last thing I might do is a little frequency separation. This allows me to smooth out skin tones a little bit. And I actually like to use the mixer brush along with my frequency separation. I learned this from Shutter Magazine. And so I'm just going to paint over a little bit where I think needs to be blended some. Maybe a little bit right here. I think usually I'm doing some blending down in the chin and the cheeks a little bit. But again, like her skin already looks great as it is. And right here. And again, I'm not trying to make her look fake or anything. I just want to come back and polish this so that it's the best version of herself. And then a little bit of the neck. We don't want to neglect that. I feel like we focus a lot on the face, and sometimes we can forget. All skin should have this taken care of. All right. Then I'm going to come here, flatten the image. As I was working through that, I saw a couple more things I want to take care of. Take care of this tiny one right here. And there's a couple on her lips that I just want to lighten up a little bit. But again, I think this photo looks pretty good as is. And, you know, that's basically it. You know, if I want to be really picky, maybe I come up here and take care of a little vein in her eye. That's really it. I might have this pop just a little bit more. Brighten this up. If I want to mess with any sharpness, one thing I can do is use, this is like the quick and dirty way of doing it. So I'll duplicate this layer. I will apply an unsharp mask. It'll ask me how much. That's kind of typically where I have it. But I won't do it to the whole image. I will apply a layer mask. I will invert that mask and just paint on what I want sharper. And usually that's going to be like the eyes and eyelashes. I don't need to sharpen the skin or anything. But really, I think I might just leave it at that. And you can see if I turn that on and off, everything just gets a tiny bit sharper with it on. I'll flatten this down. I'm probably not going to come back and revisit this, so I would just save this. And if I come back to Lightroom, it'll show me my two. And you can kind of see just the slight differences if I switch back and forth. That's the original. That's the polished one. It's not much, but it's just a little bit cleaner, a little bit more even. So that's my quick editing process. Hope you enjoyed. Email me, comment, anything. Always happy to share. Ask me questions. And thanks for watching.